This is the Daily Thunder Podcast. Welcome back. I'm your host, Ryan Woods. I am here tonight with Daily Thunder beat writer Brandon Rahbar. Brandon, how goes it?
I'm good, man. It's a Friday night. The snow's starting to melt somewhat. The Thunder played and bettered their lottery odds. Sloppy game. That wasn't too fun to watch. I hate seeing Shea struggle. This may have been his first game all season that I can really remember thinking, wow, he's really struggling to get his shots off. So that was a bummer. But overall, good night.
This game was stinky. This game was stinky. Let's go through these shooting numbers for both teams. It wasn't just Oklahoma City. Oklahoma City shot 36.5% from the field, 30% from three on 40 attempts, and 52.4% from the free throw line. Like, could not hit a thing. Let's go to Milwaukee. They aren't much better. 40% from the field, 32.4% from three, 68% from the free throw line. The game was stinky. Neither team could buy a bucket. It was weird. The final score 98-85. Oklahoma City fails to reach 90, which I got to be honest, before the season, I figured our offense, if we really wanted to tank, we'd roll out the offense of don't make our shots. Thought that would have been a very effective offense, maybe that or maybe just strictly turnovers offense. They went with the don't make any of the shots offense tonight, and it worked.
Yeah, it worked. It worked to perfection. It's funny because watching the Thunder this year, I'm happy when they win, and I root for each guy to do well. And when they get losses, though, I'm like, cool, better chance to get a guy like Cade or Mobley or Kuminga. So it's been a win-win all season. Like every game I've thoroughly enjoyed and had a good time. And there's been like things to take away. Like, okay, even in the couple of blowouts that the Thunder have had, you could single out like, well, Shea still looked like a star. Man, Dort looked great. This is kind of the first game all season long where I'm like, man, it's hard to take away any positives from this game.
Yeah.
Isaiah Roby, maybe. I mean, I don't even know if he's going to be a part of the future. He may be. I think he may be in the plans as a role player long term, possibly. But when you're looking at, Isaiah Roby scoring 10 points, getting 7 rebounds as the game's highlight, probably wasn't the best game. Dort still played pretty well. He had 17 points, 3 of 7 from 3. So I guess, and he had a starter's high -8 plus minus.
Yeah. Every other starter just got blown away in the plus minus tonight. I'll give a positive. Dort continues to be very good at drawing offensive fouls. I think he leads the league.
He does lead the league. I think that Dort has got to be Nick Collison's favorite player.
Yeah.
I mean, really, it's like the spirit of Nick Collison has inhabited Lou Dort. If Nick Collison's spirit was really athletic and quick.
He's so strong, and he defends essentially with his hands in his pocket. He's such a smart defender, and I love watching him get in there and draw offensive fouls. It's very much Kyle Lowry on that end.
And what's great is his reputation as a defender is growing, and now word is spreading that he's leading the league in offensive fouls. So it's starting to be talked about more. And those things help with the revs. Like when you get that reputation, some of those Nick Collison drawn charges, were they all offensive fouls? Probably not, but that was his reputation. So if there was a 50-50 call, Nick Collison was getting that call, and I think you're starting to see the same thing with Lou Dort. Because I know there's been 1 or 2 times like, ooh, they're going to give that to him. Oh, they did.
Yeah.
And I think it's because, you kind of develop that reputation. That's one of his things is drawing offensive fouls. And so he's going to start getting that whistle more and more.
I think it was the one in the second half. I believe it was Pat Connaughton hit him in the lane, and I thought he was kind of sliding into it. Nope. Both refs we're going the other way. And it was good to see. I love watching him defend. He had a great possession in the second half on Middleton, forcing an out of bounds play. He's just fantastic. He's so much fun to watch. Another positive I wanted to mention was Shea started the game really well distributing the ball. They took wide open looks for the first 6 minutes of the game. Couldn't hit any of them. Al Horford in particular, he went 2 of 9 from three tonight. But the offense generated great shots because of Shea.
I agree. Shea really
And
was.
and he had a really bad night. I will say that. Like he this was as bad a game as I can remember from Shea. But I did want to point out just a little positive. He did distribute the ball really well to start.
I agree. And not to sound like a homer here, but it's pretty nice when the worst game that you can remember from Shea on the year is 14 points on 12 shots. Like he still had more points than shots, even on his worst night. 3 of 12 from the field. Again, not good. He only had 1 2-pointer. It was a really nice, tough and one, kind of an impossible shot. Even on a night where he struggled, he still hit a shot you thought had no business going down. 2 of 5 from three. You know, the starters started off well. The Thunder actually were up 20-16 after the first quarter. It's just neither team could score, and all the starters were a positive plus minus. Of course, that all went to the toilet as the game went on. But yeah, you're right. Shea was getting guys looks. Al Horford struggling from three was so weird because so many of them were wide open too, and I've
Yeah.
just
Great
been
looks.
conditioned to believe that those are all going down when he's wide open like that. So it was bizarre to see him miss. If he hits, 2 or 3 of those wide open threes that he would normally hit, this is a much different ball game. Something as simple as that. Just because neither team could really score. Justin Jackson, last time he played the Bucks on Valentine's Day, scored 20 points and 4 for 4 from three, hit the game-winning dagger. Tonight, 2 points on 1 of 2 shooting. It's just kind of funny how things can change game to game. Mike Muscala has been lights out from three all season long. He was 0 for 6 from three. So when you just look at the Thunder centers, Muscala and Horford going 2 for 15 from three, if they hit their averages, let's say they go 6 of 15 from three, I mean, that's 12 more points. The Thunder lost by 13. I mean, it's just funny how you can be so down on a game, but you change a couple things here and there, and the whole game flips on its head.
Yeah, and I think we've both said this now. Like the Bucks did not play well either.
No.
They just played a touch better than Oklahoma City. Like the Bucks are bad. Like they had lost 5 in a row coming into this game, and just kind of met a team that was playing a touch worse. Like this Bucks team is very disappointing in my eyes.
Well, I'll say this: their losing streak coincided with Drew Holiday being out. All those games
Sure.
they lost were right when Drew Holiday. I think that they're a much better team. Coming in, they're also the number 3 seed in the East. Of course, that's not saying much. But you're right; they've looked really bad coming into this game, and they've lost to some bad teams, including yours truly. God bless them. But I think that they gave up so much to get Drew Holiday, including their depth. So it's kind of hard to compare this Bucks team to last year's Buck team without Drew Holiday because they're losing a lot of guys they gave up to get Drew Holiday. So
no question, no
they'll
question.
be fine. They'll be fine.
It just felt like a game that Oklahoma City, had they hit shots, they would have won by 10. It really felt like that was the variable that the Bucks got in their favor tonight, because Oklahoma City took a ton of wide open looks that I was, like you're saying, the guys that were taking them, you just kind of you're starting to expect them to go in. A little nitpick here. I've been very down on Baisley's shot selection when he doesn't when he's catching a catch and shoot three. I'm off. I hope he takes every one of them. To be honest, he hit 2 of 2 tonight. But when he doesn't, like when he pump fakes and then goes somewhere else, those are the shots that I've been the stepping into long twos where he hesitates before he takes it. The mid range stuff. I hope that that's stuff that the team is trying to work out of his game, because it doesn't look natural at all for him.
Yeah, I agree with you. As far as Baisley goes, to kind of expand on him a little bit, he started off 2 for 2 for 3, and I was excited because he just went 4 for 8 against the Grizzlies on Wednesday night. So I'm like, look, he's 6 of 10 for his, you know, 60% on his last 10 3-point shots. Maybe he's kind of breaking out of a slump here. And
Mm-hmm.
then I don't know what happened. He only played 21 minutes. I don't know if he got hurt. They never. Mark Dagnall never covered it in his post game press conference. I was actually going to ask him, but my toddler was crying in the background. So that's I'll
Stayed
be
on
real.
mute.
I'll be real transparent. Yeah. So I held my microphone on mute because I don't want. I would have
That's
become a
hilarious.
meme. Somebody would have outed me, and I would have become a meme. So I didn't want to do that. Uh, yeah, so I'm not sure what happened to Darius in the second half. Have you heard anything at all?
I haven't. I was noticing just from looking at the box score, Diallo played, you said Baisley played 20 minutes. Diallo played 31. Roby mirrored Baisley's minutes and played quite a few minutes at the 4 in the second half. So yeah, we'll be looking for that because it could be an injury thing. It could be just they went with other guys in the second
Right,
half, which
yeah.
is which is unlike them. So I would imagine something happened injury wise.
Right, yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. I think it's got to be some sort of injury. Hopefully nothing big. Um, because yeah, that's not like them to just completely uh shut out a starter like that in the
Yeah.
fourth quarter. So can't imagine. And then Justin Jackson only played 6 minutes in the first half and then never played again. So that was kind of odd, especially considering how hot he's been lately. So yeah, just kind of curious. Of course, it makes sense to cut some of Jackson's minutes out with Shea and Maladone being out or being back.
Hmm.
But Darius Miller was out of the rotation tonight as well. I don't know, just kind of some weird things with minutes tonight. I'm not quite sure what happened there.
Yeah, I was waiting on Baisley to play more, especially down the stretch, and he just didn't. So we'll look for that. Uh, Giannis with 29 and 19, and it really felt like after the first half, the game the game could go either way, and it felt like the game was going to be decided by who came out of the locker room with a bit more punch, and that was Giannis. Really came out of the second half just ready to go, and kind of imposed his will. Was just so physical and getting into the lane, getting all the way to the rim. And I thought they did play some solid defense at the rim. Oklahoma City was getting into the lane a lot in the second half, Diallo especially, and they stood up quite a few drives from the Thunder in the second half, which is I thought was pretty impressive.
Yeah, I agree. The Thunder don't have a lot of size or physicality. Not having Steven Adams or Nerlens Noel on the team anymore, they go from one of the most physical down low rim teams to one of the least physical. I love Horford, but he's still undersized, and he's not the physical specimen that a lot of centers are. Then, of course, Muscala isn't a rim protector by any means either. And then the power forwards that the Thunder have are undersized as well. So I was actually a little bit surprised that Giannis didn't try to abuse the Thunder down low more
Hmm.
in the last game, and he definitely went there this game. But I was impressed, like you said, the Thunder just kind of swarmed the Bucks once they got into the lane. There's a lot of times they stood up. There's a lot of jump balls just because the
Yes.
Thunder got their hands on balls, and it was really impressive actual defensive work with their hands to not foul when a guy is driving in like that. It was actually really impressive. And we haven't mentioned this. Look, the Thunder were down by like 25 points again to another contending team on the road with two All-Stars, the back-to-back MVP, and they came down and they got it down to single digits in the fourth quarter, and it looked like it was going to be a game. And then, the Bucks hit a couple of threes there at the end to put some distance again. But the Thunder still continue to show that fight, even on a night where they struggled. They still had, all effort, all heart, all fight. So impressed by that as well.
No question. They were really scrappy, and you could see when they started to make their run. Uh, Budenholzer's in. He's quick with it. He'll call those timeouts because he was not letting Oklahoma City get too much momentum. Because like teams are starting to pick up on Oklahoma City. They do this. They play possum with these teams, and and then they start coming back because they know they can. It's very it's fun to watch, and I think these opposing teams are starting to pick up on it.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that it's going to be hard to overlook the Thunder anymore just because teams are going to know they're going to get kind of into a dogfight. And so now I think you'll start to see some of these teams get more physical with the Thunder because they know they're going to have to, like the Bucks did tonight. The Bucks played them once, and I think they learned from their mistake. Are like, okay, we can't just kind of walk in and expect to win. We
Yeah.
need to walk in and expect to fight because these guys aren't going anywhere. And here's the thing: here's the difference between a team like the Thunder and the Wolves. The Wolves have the worst record in the NBA right now, even though on paper they have more talent. Yeah, they've had a lot of injuries this season, but who hasn't? The Wolves have blown a lot of leads in the fourth quarter because they don't really play defense. The effort, the fight, that's not there. When you're strapped of talent, the one thing you can do is hustle and out effort the other team and want it more. And this
Hmm.
Thunder team does that. And that's why, even though, a team like the Wolves or Cavs or Wizards may have more talent on paper, this Thunder team plays defense and they play with fight. So it's keeping them in games they shouldn't be in.
No question, no question. And tonight's loss, it helps them. They move up to fifth on Tankathon, and Houston right behind them in sixth. So as it stands right now, OKC has the fifth and sixth worst records ready to go. If it were to end today, it's a really good spot that they're in, and the Wizards right in front of them starting to figure it out. That pick could start climbing even more.
Yeah, the Wizards have won 3 in a row. Russ is starting to play better. I think that the Thunder will definitely climb up or climb down, I guess, into the fourth spot.
Yeah, how do we say that? Climb up or
Yeah,
climb down? I've been in the same situation where I've been talking about that, and I don't know how to say it.
yeah. I guess I don't know. It's just natural to say climb up, but I think it is climb down. But
Yeah,
it depends on if you're looking at Tankathon or like the official NBA standings to say which order you're in. I guess. Here's more good news: the Heat play the Lakers tomorrow night. Obviously, the Lakers are going to be without Anthony Davis, so who knows who's going to win that game. But they potentially could move up into sole possession of the 8th spot. So then the Thunder would have control of 3 of the top 8 picks,
yep.
possibly after tomorrow night.
And I'm really excited about that. Oklahoma City, as it stands right now, would have the first pick of the second round because that's coming from Minnesota from the Rubio trade.
Yep, exactly. And that's if they don't get the Warriors pick. That's what's nice.
Yeah,
On one hand, you got to root for the Warriors, which just feels wrong, but it's kind of like, it's fun to have teams to root against this season and teams to root for this season besides the Thunder because it helps the Thunder's future. And, it's frustrating to see the Wolves blow all these late leads because you want the Thunder to have a better draft pick in the first round than them. But like you said, the flip side of that is there's a very good chance that the Thunder end up with their second rounder, and that could be the number 31 pick overall in a pretty stacked draft. I mean, here's one way of looking at it. They got Teo Maladone with the number 34 pick. So,
yep, absolutely. And Oklahoma City's own pick in the second round would be, as it stands right now, 35. And Tankathon has Oklahoma City taking Josh Christopher there. Josh Christopher preseason was like, I believe he was in the early 20s, and after the first couple of games moved up to into the early teens, like 12, 13. He would be incredible value at 35. So if especially if that's your fourth pick in the draft to get a guy like that, it'd be
yeah,
so crazy. Speaking of Minnesota, have you seen the Anthony Edwards dunk from tonight?
I have. It was incredible. I mean, from what I've seen, probably the dunk of the year. Of course, have you also seen that he was like 0 for 7 from 3 and
I
like
did. I did. I was
like 3
honestly
of
hoping you
14 from the
had I
field?
was hoping you hadn't seen it because we were going to get your reaction live on the
Oh, my
podcast.
bad. Here, you want me to fake it?
No, 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 there's no faking it. There's no going
uh,
back. But man, what a dunk. That was insane.
It was. It was. It's so funny. I don't know what to think of him. It's just his rookie season, but there's no question about his athleticism. That dunk was was pretty nice. I mean,
The
it was pretty good.
people are putting the still shots of that one next to Tracy McGrady over Sean Bradley. The way that they went down the baseline, it looks the exact same. It's crazy. Obviously, T Mac is going up over somebody 7'5". What was he? 7'5", 7'6"?
Yeah, he was like
Sean
seven
Bradley was a
six.
tree.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, and you know it's funny. He probably shoots about as well as Anthony Edwards probably shoots right about as well as Sean Bradley did.
That's it. That's it. All right. Oklahoma City is off tomorrow. They play a crucial game for the draft pick's sake against Cleveland at Cleveland. Cleveland has lost 9 in a row, but they are 7-8 at home. Give me your thoughts on how you want Oklahoma City to handle this game. You had some thoughts before we came on the air, specifically with Al Horford.
Yeah, so here's the thing. You know that Al Horford sits on back-to-backs. He rests on the second night of a back-to-back. Well, the Thunder have a back-to-back Sunday and Monday, the Cavs and then the Heat. The Cavs is the ultimate team that if you're looking at Tankathon and you're looking at draft picks, if you wanted to lose to a team, the Cavs would be the team because that's a big swing one way or another, whether you're beating them or losing to them as far as Tankathon goes. And then they play the Heat, which is the one team you have their unprotected draft pick. That's the one team you don't mind beating. That actually would be great because they need some more losses to hopefully get into the lottery and not climb up into the playoffs. So if it were me and you had to rest Al Horford one of those days anyways, rest Al Horford against the Cavs and then play him against the Heat. It just makes absolute strategic sense.
100%. I'm 100% with you. I co-sign everything you just said.
I'm really curious that the Thunder do it. It's interesting because, you know, it would go against what they've done this year. So it would be the first sign that like, oh, they're going to be strategic about this now. Like now it's getting serious. You know, they're really looking at those standings. They're looking at, you know, top 5 picks. All those things would be the first move that they make that, you know, showed. But it's also just smart. He's got to rest one of the nights anyways. Just have him rest the first night instead of the second night. But it'd be a very strategic thing if they do so.
Totally. And I will say the first strategic thing they've done this year, Hamidou Diallo playing point guard.
Well, yeah.
Oh man, you're absolutely right though. Like Horford sitting against Cleveland and then playing against Miami. That's galaxy brain stuff right there.
Yeah,
really hope
it really is. It really is. I'll say this in defense of Diallo though, because I got to. You know, we got a good laugh, but he was much better as a point guard than I thought he was. You know, when I first heard that they were experimenting with him playing point guard in the preseason, I gave that side eye. Come on, homie. So, but then he comes out and he gets like double-digit assists his first game out as a point guard.
Yeah.
And then he had to spot start a couple of games at point guard. So, all due credit to Hami. He's exceeded my expectations. I feel bad because he was kind of like my Thunder young core player that I kept kind of overlooking and just kind of dismissing in all my preseason predictions, and he's been much better than I thought. So kudos to Hami.
There you go. I retract nothing.
Yeah.
Right. So Oklahoma City is back on Sunday. Hope everybody is continuing to stay safe and warm. We will be back after that one. Shout out to my wife. Her birthday is tomorrow. And actually, East Coast, we're past midnight. Happy birthday to my wife.
Nice.
All right.
Happy birthday.
And Brandon, thank you so much for joining.
Absolutely, man. Have a good night.